So, hi guys, welcome to another episode of Core or a podcast. My name is Satvik Kaur, and I've created this podcast to share uplifting, positive narratives to try and encourage, elevate, empower others to make those changes in their own lives. Work on their own well-being, work on their own self-development, and just really come out there and embrace and be your true, authentic self. Woo! Who would not want that? So, guys, as you know, with this current series, I'm bringing other guests on that have their own organizations, their own groups, speaking of their experience do within their community and also the work that they've done on themselves and any adversity that they've overcome. I thought it would also be good to bring on people that I know as well on a personal level. So bring on some kind of friends, family even, just to add in some cozy chats. I'm going to start calling them. Someone that knows me before I made the changes to where I am on a personal level and also like with my business journey. I thought it'd be really great to bring them on. So guys, please welcome Gary France.
Hello, hiya, Sat. It feels a bit weird you calling me Gary because what do you always call me?
Gazza Wazza Doodah. I know, it felt weird saying it. I was so close to saying, here's Gazza Wazza Doodah.
Well, you just call me whatever you like. Gazza will do. Yeah, thanks, Sat. Again, I remember we were talking about this in its infancy, and fair play to you. You're doing it. Lots of respect, lots of love. Yeah, I thought I'd come on and you ask me whatever you want to ask me. Lovely, fire
Yeah.
away.
Oh, thank you for that. And I appreciate it so much. We've just got so much to speak on. I think will be so relevant to anybody listening or watching. And like I said, with the wealth of experience, so Gazza Wazza Doodah. Let's start off by a quick intro to who you are and your background, and just go more into your career.
And I'm sure that there's people out there that would really benefit from this type of advice and listening to just good, honest feedback about sometimes how kind of life gets in the way and it stops us being ourselves, and we end up putting this mask, this veneer on to just get through stuff. And I think particularly men. I mean, for those of you that are listening, I am a man, and
I like to think so.
yeah, yeah. The reason I feel quite connected to this kind of thing is I'm a hairdresser, so as the more experience that I got within my industry, the more I sort of put back into developing others. And I really found it really a beautiful experience, just sharing knowledge. So that I've been very grateful for. And it allowed me to travel, actually. I went to some fascinating places. So, uh, I really was a working class boy. Just grew up in the south of England, and loved sport growing up and stuff, and then eventually got sort of to teenage years and thought, what am I going to do? And I know there's a lot of anxiety around teenagers. I've got three daughters, so I'm feeling, they're 17, 19, and just turned 21. So they're going through that anxious time in their life where they're shaping. They've all come out of school. One's in college, one's in university, one's in work. One's just got back. The oldest just got back from Melbourne. She was there for 6 months. So now going through and listening to their anxiety and the sort of coming through that COVID, almost missing 2 years of education. So it's very interesting to see, where young people are at now. And when I was their age, it was slightly different. I felt like I wasn't that academic, wasn't that smart, wasn't really turned on by being in an office or doing something. I wanted to do something creative. I wanted to use my hands. I wanted something to be social. And so I just kind of fell into hairdressing. I just literally went in for a Saturday and just kind of really loved it, and then ended up having this amazing career with Tony and Guy, which I'll be forever grateful for. And I'm still there. I work for the product company of a professional product company called Label M. The M is Moscolo, who are the owners of Tony and Guy. And I've just had an amazing career that I'm so grateful and thankful for, that's exposed me to incredible opportunities. And I've always been grateful. And like I said, my first intro was that I've been very fortunate. I've been allowed to give back to others as well, and I'm more proud of that than winning my own awards and my own development. That is the fact that I've been able to develop others through various projects and things. So yeah.
Love that. And that's what I mean, guys. So for those that don't know, when you aren't in the hairdressing world, Gaza on the hairdressing streets is quite somebody.
Well, do you
um,
know what they say? I'm a bit of a big deal. I, I, and for anyone who knows me, that is a joke.
yeah,
I
in case
admit
they're like, yeah.
It's what my brother-in-law, we will say to it, hi, I'm a bit of a big deal. So that is a joke.
Oh, funny. But I am saying that because I've seen it when I've come to your events and you're there, you have people approaching you because of your wealth of experience, your knowledge, what you've brought into the hairdressing world. You are known in that community. Yeah, so it's amazing. Gaza, so with getting into hairdressing in the first place, it's quite a creative role, isn't it? What is it about it that gave you that passion for it? What was it that aligned with you?
Yeah, I think for me, there's a combination of things. I think learning a new language, which is the terminology, the techniques, was really interesting. I sort of challenged myself on that because, again, we all have very different learning styles. And I found for someone that sort of gets distracted easily or, doesn't really buy into things that I'm not interested in, so for me to learn about myself and my own learning style and what I was able to digest and keep and sort of was interesting. And then being able to pass that on to others and learn it about their learning styles. That's more sort of further down the line with education. But no, the combination of the creativity from a technical perspective, and then if you've ever learned any skill, cooking, driving, I don't know, a sport, whatever it is, once you learn it and then you kind of get really good at it, you sort of develop your own style with it then. And that's for me what was really interesting was developing your own taste, your own style, where you're not only learning technique, but you're creating techniques. And that for me was fascinating because again, being with an organization like Tony Guy allowed us to be on stage every day in front of an audience, communicating live, doing live models, which is incredible in our academy. From there, we got to do photo shoots, we got to do fashion shows. So there was a session team that we had, and we had an artistic team that was the education team. Um, and then obviously the commercial side of it. So the bread and butter to what we did was how do we make great hair in our salons? That's the business. That's how you make money, your services. How do we then make, do inspire our teams, our hairdressers, and other hairdressers around the world to come and join us, but also to sell our books, our DVDs, our courses, because we always believed in we want to share. So that was an interesting part of the business. And then the session side of it. So we're the official product official sponsor of London Fashion Week. We've collaborated with the British Fashion Council for 20 years. So again, that opened up a whole other raft of opportunities, working with professional models, working with designers, incredible makeup artists, stylists. So all of a sudden, you're not doing your day-to-day stuff is I'm doing your hair today, madam. I want to make this haircut, this service that you're going to spend having an hour. That's going to last you 6, 8, 10 weeks, whatever the service was, i.e., cut and color, versus I'm going to throw your hair up right now in a bun with a load of mousse in it, stick a pin in it. It's got to last 20 minutes for you to walk down that catwalk. Or doing hair for a shoot, which was again very different. The creative aspect of that was doesn't matter what it looks like from there or there, as long as it looks amazing on camera. So there's all different aspects that I learned as I went along that creative process, which were fascinating.
Amazing. And just you saying what you have, it's a whole network going on there, isn't it? And then, like I said, communicating and collaborating with other, oh, wow. And when when you say like hairdressing, sometimes people can kind of just not think of there's so many avenues as well. And it's great for potential people that are looking into hairdressing, that are listening possibly, to know that all those avenues you could go to into hairdressing. That's just, I just felt mind blown then. Like, that's massive.
So, I mean, we attracted, I had a salon in Kensington, right, for Tony and Guy franchise in Kensington. And it was the heart of the music industry. So you had all the big record labels there. So we got involved in doing music events, the Brits, for example, stuff like that, bands, artists throughout all the 90s and that. We did loads of bands and stuff. And then, so that was very different again, going to gigs and being backstage, going to festivals, stuff like that. But also, there was a couple of my staff went on to do things like hair for movies and theatres and stuff like that. Um, which say you're doing a periodic drama. I mean, that's a massive amount of research. And well, we're doing something from the early 1900s. Well, what does that look like? So it's head. If you've got if anyone's listening that is thinking about doing hairdressing, it isn't just a case of going to college for 2 years and then doing it in your shed in your back garden. If that's for you, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. Whatever floats your boat. But what I'm saying to you, as a career, it can take you all over the world, and to some in fantastic opportunities and places that you probably didn't think were possible. And when you watch the TV, when you watch a film, when you watch an advert, I mean,
Yeah.
advertising, hair's massive for advertising. I went to South Africa, went to Czech Republic. I did sort of commercial adverts and stuff, and they pay really well. People make a lot of money.
Yeah, and that's amazing for people to hear and know that and pursue, hopefully. And all that you've done, Garza, that's so inspiring. And for the younger generation to see where it can go. And you've loved it, like you're aligned to it, right? Because this is my thing. Like, you know my background, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm so grateful. I'm a midwife and all that, I know. But it's very sad when you're living in a career that you worked so hard for, but for some reason it just isn't aligning with you. And it's like, and it's sad because I chose my career. And this is after like history of like a plethora of jobs going in and out, trying all this here and there, like, and then thinking you found your career, this is it now. And some people are, there's millions working in jobs, careers that they chose that they're not aligned to. And you do look back and think, oh, bloody hell, if I could do it again, I would have done. So for someone that's so young to align with what they want to do, their purpose, their passion, that's amazing. And it is all about that aligning. Of course, it takes time to find what your purpose and your passion is. The main thing, you're fulfilled.
Yeah, I think most people's objective, most people's priority, let's be honest, is I've got to put food on the table and pay my bills and
Yeah,
look
very
after my family. And that, of course, I completely understand. But if you have ambition and drive and dreams that, hey, do you know what? I've always wanted to. I mean, I was talking to a lady the other day, for example. She was a receptionist in one of the salons that I used to look after. And she said to me, Gary, I've done this job and I love this job. I love being front of house. I want to do a coffee shop. I want to do my own coffee shop. I said, what's stopping you? She went, oh, the kids are in school. And they said, but they've grown up now. I said, you can do it. She said, I'm going to do it. And she went and did it.
Oh,
You know,
wow, nice.
yeah. And she's flying with it because she's saved up for all these years. So she's, even though she loved being front of house,
Yeah,
in the salon that I used to go and visit. Um, it was she still hadn't fulfilled her dreams. So I think anybody that has dreams, ambitions, about, and sometimes it's the little voice that stops us. It's that fear that
yeah,
stops.
yeah, definitely.
Frightened. You know what? We're frightened of failure.
Yeah,
We all are, all of
yeah,
us.
100%.
And
Yeah, yeah.
and whether that's coming across as a failure, talking about your feelings because you don't want people to think it looks weak. I know that's massive with men, women who oh my, they are very different.
Yeah,
Um,
yes, I found
Thoughts and feelings, to men, and dealing with women doing their hair, and they open up a lot with how they're feeling. And I know that's something you're incredibly passionate about. So, but yeah, I think it really is important to follow your head, obviously, because you
yeah,
need your head screwed on to, as I say, to survive, but
yeah, yeah,
also
yeah,
your heart, because you'll only regret it if you don't. And if you get the opportunity to, you know, do something you love, absolutely, the money will come. The money
yeah.
comes.
That's it, 100%. And that is it, because it was the thought of that, isn't it? For me, I don't want that regret. I don't want to then look back on my life and think, why the heck did I not do it? I was worried about it. And people are worried about what other people think. They'll let their opinions get to them. You just need that courage. And it is that fear of starting, the fear of failure. But don't, because if something aligns with you and it's nudging at you and it feels right, give it a go, man. And if
Mm.
it's meant to be and it aligns, it will all fall into place. And it's not easy. And like you said, money and this, it will come. It's that living with that regret. And it's very hard. It's very hard to embark on any type of change. It's difficult and challenging out there for people. But even, and then we're saying about changes like pursuing a business, changing jobs, even just different changes into your life, making certain decisions, working more on your own well being, any changes like that that could be started, that's going to help improve you to have more clarity to decide what you do want to get out of life. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what we're all searching for, just to have the best out of life and to live it fulfilled.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things, isn't there? You got to ask yourself, really truly look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I happy
Mhm.
with myself? If not, what's making me unhappy? Is it my work? Is it my relationship? Is it my physical appearance? Is it my mental And what is it? Because you've got to be really, really honest. And
Yeah.
the only way to really improve that is to address it, you know? So
As ugly as it is, it is. And I think a lot of it is we do avoid it. We do know there's a lot of issues that people have, but we bury our heads in the sand. And we don't want to also take, I find, that time to ourselves to really address it. And no matter how ugly it will get, because it will, but it is a case of knowing yourself, studying yourself, like, and because you'll find that we really don't know ourselves. And I found that with me, I didn't. And I had to literally figure myself out when I was embarking on these changes at the start. I was like, who am I? Because I had got to that point where I didn't know. But all I knew is I was unhappy and this was not what I thought my life would be. So I thought, okay, I've got to first and foremost shut down. But that's after figuring it out, what, like you said, what is it that you do want out of life and why? What are these avenues that you are concerned about, challenges? Why don't you feel at peace and address it and find ways to kind of small changes and find out what is that support you're going to need to start it all off? So what is it that's going to get you to make that first step?
yeah, I think, you know, do you still recognize yourself? Have things run away a little bit where you've just allowed yourself to get in a place where you're not happy, you know, and that can happen because we're humans. We get in a place of comfort. Sometimes that comfort blanket isn't always the right thing. You know, it's great to feel comfortable. You know, when I say to my students and even clients and that, I don't do many clients anymore, to be honest, because I'm in a commercial role now. But I say to business owners and that, you know, I said familiarity is an amazing thing, and it's also your worst enemy because we love to feel familiarity is good. It makes us feel good. It likes going to your favorite coffee shop, your restaurant, favorite brand, you know, whatever that is that you think that makes me feel good, that makes me feel comfortable, I'm familiar with it. That's not a bad thing. But also, it can stop us progressing
Yeah, yeah.
because we go, I know that's safe. I feel secure over there, going to that job, whatever it is, with that partner, whatever it is. And sometimes when we actually challenge ourselves in that way, um, things start to happen.
And it's having to come out of that comfort zone because, like you said, it's the convenient to stay in that because it feels right and your body agrees to it. Your brain goes with it as well because it's so deep rooted, you're conditioned.
Say to people that want to change, none of us are perfect, are we? We talked about, you know, I mean, I love going to the gym. I love going to the pub. You know, most opposing things. For different reasons. But I think anybody that wants to make a change, whether it's a physical one, a mental one, in a relationship state, you've got to do it slowly. You know?
Yeah.
Otherwise, your body goes into shock, your mind goes into shock, and you'll
Yeah.
give up. It's a bit like doing, you know, you hear about crash diets or anything that you suddenly shock your body or your mind into. You get a result, but it's not going to ever be long term. So things that you have to evolve and adapt slowly will it's a bit of the tortoise and the hare, isn't it? You know, and when you start seeing results, you it becomes you know a little bit addicted. You go, oh, that was good. I want to do a little bit more. I want to do a little bit more, and a little bit more, and then all of a sudden you're going to the gym 4 times a week instead of once or twice a week, or you're
Yeah, it's
you
gradual.
know, do you know things like that? You know,
Definitely. And it is. It does take that small steps, breaking it down, not overwhelming yourself because that can happen. And like you said, then you're going to quit before you've even got to that stage because you've overwhelmed yourself. So it's taking it in small little chunks, small steps, and breaking it down. And that's exactly true because it is about that achievement. Once you've overcome something small, then you're like, what else can I do? Then naturally you want to evolve. Gaza, my first form of physical activity, because other than working a shift at the hospital, right, I had no activity level. It would be mostly in my pit and just or lying down on the couch. Like it's really bad. Yeah. And this is no joke though. It was lack of energy as well. I just couldn't be bothered to do anything. So it's a vicious cycle. It got so bad that I couldn't even do a full flight of stairs without just wanting to chill in the middle. That's so bad. So my first change to make, because I knew I had to improve my physical state because it's going to really benefit me massively, the state I was in. My first thing was literally getting out of my pit, my bed, and making it. And doing a 10-minute yoga, just a basic beginner stretch. And like you said, and now to where I am, I kind of work out consistently, regularly. So when you see that progress, but it does take that for sustainability, for it to be long term. We're not looking for getting those quick results in that short span of time by going all in. You want to gradually progress because it's all about as well having this as part of your lifestyle, not just do it for a certain period to get those results and then that's it, ladies loser to exercise or any type of physical activity. You want that to become part of your lifestyle for the health benefits and to help you as you kind of age and better quality of life, man.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, we're all humans, right? We all
Yeah.
have this voice in our head, and we use bad language. And I don't mean swearing or inappropriate language. I mean language, negative language. I'm too knackered. That's in its. I've worked all day. Well, we all work all day, but go to the gym at the end of the day, it's packed.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, then come home and eat or whatever, or go for a walk, go for a swim. I'm not saying the gym is the holy grail. I just like going there because I do the classes. And again, the classes I just pure gym. It's 32 quid a month, pound a day. You can go to 5 classes a day if you want. You can stay there all day for that. How incredible value is that?
Yeah.
I would say I go 4 times a week and I probably do about 6 classes, maybe 8 if I'm on a good week. You know what? I see the same faces. I go to 2 different, yeah. And so you get that little bit of familiarity. I go because I know I'm going to see Malcolm, John, Barbara, whoever.
Yeah.
And the classes I go to are really mixed. So I live in Nottingham. It's a big student town. So you get these amazing young, fit men and women in there. But, um, but you also get, lovely housewives that have just had babies that are, not working, but they want to invest in themselves. They want to, obviously their bodies have changed. So they're excited about, having some adult conversation, some physical exercise. And these classes are 40 minutes, 30 minutes, and then you can do double up. You could do 2 classes on back to back. And the instructors are brilliant. I've got my 2 favorite instructors are really, it's funny actually. One's called Mona and one's called Lisa. Mona Lisa. They're instantly recognizable. They've got frames around them, you know.
Oh,
No, but they're lovely because they're so nurturing. And you know what? We get people of all shapes, all ages, it really, men, women, it's so mixed the classes and they're great fun. Yeah, they're really good fun. And it's your class. So, and like I said, it's almost getting like we're all getting a PT session, but in a really kind of fun way.
yeah, and it's like socializing as well, like you said. So it's that people coming together, learning, and that human connection as well, which is kind of going on the decline a bit. So that's amazing. And it is, like you said, you can get your form of exercise through classes. It doesn't even have to be through the gym.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that hate gyms, and they go,
Yeah,
"Oh, doesn't matter. Go climbing, go swimming, go walking,
for
play
movement.
golf. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Just do something." And again, I know people that go to the gym and don't want to talk to anyone. They just got their earphones in. That's fine too. Just but go and do your thing. Work out to your favorite music. But the idea is whatever makes you feel good at
Yeah.
the end of it.
And it's going to bring you better health. I always say we're nowhere without this vessel, guys. So we've got to kind of invest in it somehow. And that's through mind, body, and soul. Boop, which is what I'm all about. Because so many forms of movement that you could take that is exercise. We all think that we have to apply some rigid, strict routine or something that's going to do what you enjoy. This is what I say to my clients. Find a form of movement and do what you enjoy because you want to look forward to it. Who's going to be sticking to that then if you're not enjoying it? So this is what I say. So as much as I love strength training, there's benefits to that. Not everyone needs to choose that. Like everyone has what they prefer. And also I find it's really important as well, which is what I always say to my clients. So much information out here nowadays to do with exercise, the right exercise, what we should be putting into our bodies, like nutrition wise, well-being. It's so overwhelming, isn't it? So if you were first starting making some changes, you wouldn't even know where to bloody start. So I always say to clients, do what works for you. A lot of it is trial and error. Give things a go. And if it doesn't align, it doesn't align. Don't think you have to do something because someone's already told you online or said, this is the way, guys, and you're only going to get results through this. Have some discernment. I think that's really important going forward with the amount of information that's out there, amount of misinformation. I always think do what aligns for you. And if you're seeing results, you're feeling better from it, you're gaining more clarity, you're getting those improvements that you're looking for, then go with that. I feel like there's a lot of herd mentality. People are following something because the other person is. See what suits you. Needs are different. We're going to align with it differently. We're going to respond to it, react to it differently, our results. Yeah. So, yeah. Do you agree?
Absolutely. I honestly believe that I just feel you've got to invest at some point. Again, I keep going back to that little voice because we've all done it, and it's easy not to. The weather's bad. I'm tired. I've got this. I've got. We make it. We eat, my guinea pig looks like it's got an ingrown toenail. I don't think. We make crap excuses,
We
don't we?
do. We do.
We
And then we
do.
feel guilt after, like, oh shit, I
Yeah.
should have done
So like you said, we'll have a family bag of Maltesers, open a bottle of wine, and sit on the sofa watching the soaps. But there's nothing wrong with that. But not every night. Rome wasn't built in a day. You just got to slowly change those habits, and things will start to happen. You know. I'll tell you, I'm terrible. I mean, I'm terrible. I'm a contradiction because I love going to the gym. Equally, if I go to the pub, if I have 4 pints, I make bad choices. So I want a cigarette. I
Yeah.
want to get some fast food on the way home, or I feed my face full of shit when I get in. Honestly, so we do. So I recognise that.
Yeah.
You know that going to the pub is good, but not every night. You know,
Yeah.
once a week, but I'm going to the gym 4 times a week. You know what I mean? So you've got to get that balance. And there's always something you need to work on a bit more. You know, I'm a fairly healthy eater. I could be better. Of course, I could be better. I could drink less. I could, you know, we could all do better, but it's got a bit of fun as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And it is
Yeah.
exactly that. All in moderation and we're not excessive. And for health reasons, we're at that age where we are can be in control of it. But it is just have it in moderation and then just be aware of your own habits. That's what I say. Build your own foundation of knowledge as well. That always helps. That in itself, it's good to learn, build that knowledge on health and your body and nutrition. It's always going to kind of benefit you.
No one's saying live like a monk or
No, and have some balance. And like you said, it is all about that, enjoying it. And there's sometimes there are, because I'm very much my history is I'm an emotional eater. So if things, whether I'm celebrating or I will be eating. It's having that control over it, that balance, knowing if you do kind of eat in excess of it, don't feel bad about it. It's life. Then, like you said, yeah, find that balance. And
you know, it's just it's all about choices, isn't it?
exactly. Bettering your health, improving peace. So how do you take that time with your job as well? How do you take that time out for yourself, your well-being to make sure that you're all woosah?
Um, you know, one of the biggest things I've noticed as I've got older,
Yeah.
since we've all become a little bit more aware in all these different scenarios, is that men really truly hide their feelings. You know, they don't talk that much. I listen to Talk Sport quite a lot, and as you know, Sat, I've got this Thursday night pub group,
Yeah,
this
I love it.
WhatsApp group.
Mm.
And you know, so these are some guys are retired. So there's a bunch of us. There's ladies in this group as well. Our landlady is a wonderful Indian lady who's doesn't suffer any fools. She's amazing, but she embraces us all. And what I love about it is we're all from completely different backgrounds, different jobs, and yet pub, right, is a public house. So you go there, you get rid of all of, you know, and it's just a great way of talking. Equally, going to the gym, you know, whatever your release is. But I think talking is so important, you know.
It's really important. Find those groups where you're going to get that support and you're going to be around like-minded individuals where you can kind of express yourself fully.
Yeah, I think within the workplace, you know, we've all got jobs and things where we have to perform. You know, they're performance related, or you know, we have to keep to timekeeping. You know, but there's a structure, isn't there? There's discipline within the workplace, and sometimes we do things we don't particularly like doing. You know, one of the worst thing about my job is cold calling. We have to go into a salon and are you happy with your product? You know, and you're basically trying to sell the product into them. You know, so almost like this rep key account manager role. So I manage a lot of key accounts, but that is one of the things we are expected to do is open new business, and I hate it. If you get a result, it's great, but most of the time it's you know. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, but also you know, I think if you get days where you're feeling flat or anxious or you know, anxieties are such a big thing now. I think it always was. I just think it was never recognized. And I know that everybody talks about it. You know, everybody's anxious, but I think it really is a thing. And I don't get anxious very often, but when you do, it is about recognizing it and going, it's okay, you know, just sort of step back and just work through it. And there's lots of people out there that, you know, on medication for it and have real issues and challenges with it. And yeah, for me, I'm quite lucky in a sense that I'm very experienced in the job that I'm in and the role that I'm in, so I don't come across challenges that are too overwhelming very often. I probably should challenge myself more, but I think the age that I'm at, I'm sort of coming to sort of almost more into a retirement age exit strategy rather than 20, 30, 40 years ago. I was hugely ambitious. Now I just work I work hard, but I'm in a very comfortable lane at work. And don't get me wrong, I was talking about that earlier about being over familiar, I'm still learning new things because we have to learn new things with new products. And, you know, as I said, creativity doesn't stand still. So, but it's not like it was. So, you know, if I was myself 20, 30 years ago, it was rapid, you know, like on the go the whole time. So I bought myself a little bit of time over the years, you know.
Yeah, now you have. You've accumulated it.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, I still do 25,000 miles a year. I'm still on the road. I'm still working all across the Midlands and reaching out. And it's weird because, like I said earlier, when I was learning my craft, and then I found it really, I learned more teaching others. So I taught young people and I developed projects and worked with a great team of people that helped, you know, from marketing to PR people to educators to business owners and, you know, to big brands that all invested time, money, and energy into promoting youth. And now I would say I've left that for that next generation. So that sort of 30, 40 something, you know, they're in the age bracket where they've learned a lot. And I've now gone on to working with business owners and helping them with their businesses and not in a really clever smart way. I don't use AI. I'm not that techie, but I've got a lot of experience and you know and I have really good conversations and good, you know, time out with them, and I think they appreciate it that taking us on as a brand, they get a bit of me and they get a bit of, you know, bit of realism, you know, that I have a good connection with all my customers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can definitely feel that 100%. And your wealth of experience, what you bring to the table, your wisdom. And like you said, we're all still learning out here, but your knowledge is valuable to people. So, yeah, we don't just call you Gazza Wazza Doodah for nothing. And speaking on that, Gazza, like just the whole business element to it, you know me from before, man, before I started this business. Like, and you were there when I had that conversation when I was like, got this idea, I want to do this. And I just think compared to then to now, just feel like bloody hell. Like, obviously it's hard work, but where I'm going and what I've done so far is, of course, there's a lot of things that haven't worked and a lot of kind of failures along the way. But with that, I'm just like, let us losers. And I just focus on the positives and where I'm going with it. And look, how it all began is what I'll always be grateful for. Like,
I've got some picking up on that point. When you read books or when you talk to people that are very successful, and again, I know a lot of very successful people that started with very little. Tony Muscalia, owner of Tony and Guys, they started with nothing. You know, my friend Lee Stafford, now he's done incredibly well, sold his product line, he's retired in Ibiza, he's got a few beautiful children, and he's having an amazing life. And very, I mean, even public figures, you look at Richard Branson, dyslexic, you know. But what the point I'm trying to make is all these people had lots of failures before they got to the success. But how did they get there? It took you know, you only usually see them once they're there.
yeah,
And like most people,
yes, that's true.
yeah, most people you recognize, you say, I want to be like them. Well, actually, are you prepared to go through what they've gone through to get there? You know, some people are born with talent. A lot of people are born with talent, but it's how you harness it. It's what you do with it. Some people aren't as gifted, but they actually have an incredible work ethic and desire and passion, and they use positive energy
Mhm.
to
That.
yeah, it's to make themselves happy and successful. And talking is always good, but actually doing is even better, you know?
100%. Yeah, and that's what it is because you can gain all the knowledge from it of the how the what it takes, but it's putting it into action. And that's real bloody games begin. And that's what I have to say. I didn't even think I would be taking this route of even having my own business, but I was just looking at getting out of the hospital environment, having something more just kind of less stressful, I could time to think on a shift. I was just thinking I'll get a job somewhere. But it was only when it made those internal changes and then there was a whole new ball game. I was like, I want to do this. I want to put out my message here. I want to work for myself, and just give that a go. Like it's hard work. It's really hard, man. And I'm entering new territory where I'm just like, what is this? And I'm just so early on in a lot of that business knowledge. I feel like I've gained some knowledge, but well, we're just touching like this is nothing. There's so much to learn. It's constantly, but I'm learning.
What's the biggest challenge you faced so far since transitioning into what you're, achieving now? The direction of travel you're going in now. What's the biggest challenge you found?
Oh gosh, there's so many guys. Where to begin? Definitely finances. I have to raise that because it's just been up and down. And that I'm saying that, highlighting it because it's come from an environment when you had that stability. Do you know what I mean? You had that guaranteed wage every month. That's it. But now, oh wait, it's that's a whole new ball game. Because I'm very open about that, Gazza. Like I say on my podcast, I'm not yet there financially, but I don't expect to be yet because of where it's going and what you have to put into it. Um, but I know where it's going, so I feel comfort in that and reassurance. So that has been a massive challenge. So having to deal with that and still not being on that level yet, where it is a bit like, yeah. And then another biggie is challenge is I always find it's a bit of self doubt, and I don't know how to explain it. Not that I'm doubting myself on this business journey, because I'm very confident. I'm very confident with my clients, with my groups that I teach, like all that I do, my message. I like to think I'm quite confident with that. And naturally, like who I am as a person. But it's this whole new business journey I'm entering, and just this whole, like I said, this different territory and having to learn these things and being in different spaces and having to speak on behalf of your own business. Like when you say it out loud, or when you've been to an event and then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've just been to somewhere like that. And I'm there for my own business. So sometimes it does kind of overwhelm me and a bit of self-doubt creeps in. I can't explain it. Um, but yeah, and that you're doing everything by yourself. Like every little thing has to be done. And I always say it's not like the hospital where you can hand it over to somebody else and that's it. You should
Tiff's over.
yeah, it's not my problem anymore. um, but very much, yeah, it's having to do everything and not and knowing. So you have so much things to do, so it's constantly on your mind. But I do like to stress that it's a positive stress. Do you know what I mean? The way I was thinking years back before I made these changes. It was a different stress that I would not want, and that came with poor habits and all that, and unhealthiness. And to compare to this, I'd rather take this kind of stress on.
Yeah, exactly. There's a means to an end, isn't there? You want to be doing it, and like you said, there's a lot, but it's going in the right direction, and it's keep filling that cup, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And I think it's something as well, going through my experiences, Gaza, when I really think about it, a lot of it is just being a woman. It's woman experiences. So that's why I'm kind of guiding direct and taking that direction with my business to hone in more on women's health, as much as we support mixed groups, is because of your experiences. And like you said, a lot of it is people can resonate, can't they? And
Mm.
relate to one another through our experiences. So as much as I can bring like my textbook knowledge, what I've learned, qualifications and all that jazz, a lot of it is just how we're going through life as women, what we've experienced. It's all the same, guys. So to connect like that and help out and support, if we have the knowledge to help improve, then why would we not like share it? It's all about that, isn't it? And support one another in that.
1,000,000%. Well said. Because it'll be interesting for listeners to sort of understand that it's not easy. We're not pretending it's easy. All the things, all the advice, all the stuff that we're saying, it takes time, it takes effort, and like you said, let's not lie, it takes money. All these things, we need money, of course. It's not an ugly thing to talk about. It's a fundamental thing that we all need in our lives, and it's translating and harnessing all of that passion and that energy. and then thinking, okay, how can I then turn this into a business? How can I, by helping others, by making a difference? I think it's really important. I know we're having a cozy chat, but what's the end game here?
Massive. Like my end game is like I've just have such big plans for Core Aura as a whole. I want it to be up there with well-known brands. I want it to be a brand. I want us to branch out. I want us to be known.
The answer is turning a business into a brand. Because everyone, I speak to some people, go, oh, I've got my own brand. What is it? And they'll say something and go, that isn't a brand.
Yeah.
You've just put a label on a business it's just a business at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not a brand. And that is the key, is understand, yes, you've got a business, but to be a recognizable brand is how do you grow that business and become that?
Yes. And honestly, and that is where I want to go. I want it to be recognizable and known for well-being, women's health. Yeah, so much, like so many goals. I could bloody keep you here all night speaking about where I want to take Cool Aura. But it is that, turning it into a brand, being well known for health and wellness. But it is building a reputation with your business to fit that criteria. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, good. And again, like you're saying about people in the community, and that's real, isn't it? You're getting people out of their communities and into positions where they feel, if they're vulnerable, or if they're not, if they just don't feel great about themselves, just to help them in any way, shape, or form. I think such a good thing, and I really hope you're successful with it, Sally. I really do, and certainly we'll be supporting you and keeping an eye on you along the way.
Oh, no, and that's it. And just thanks so much. Like, I appreciate that.
So one of the things that I talk to you about all the time is when we send each other voice notes, or we laugh, or we're having a bit of a catch up. You are like pistol packing Pete, aren't you? You're firing stuff all over the, going like a lunatic. I can't keep up with you. And I said to you, when you do your podcast, and I said, be really clear. So what I found really interesting, and you told me this today, because I kind of got an overall picture, but I really wanted to understand.
Yeah.
So if I'm a woman and I want to come to you and I've got an issue or a problem or something I just generally want to have help about, you said you do something about a discovery. Will you explain it? Because I'm putting words in your mouth, but I love that. How you explained it to me today on the phone was
Oh.
great. So I just think it'd be really worth you recapping it.
It's a 30-minute discovery call, which is something that I implement. And it's just where anyone that's interested of making some changes and they're considering joining Core Aura, it's just a free 30-minute discovery call where we can have a chat. So we're getting to know one another. I'm learning a bit about your history. You're learning a bit about my vibe, because it is all about that energy aligning. Like, if we're on the same vibe and my methods, how I work going forward, and if it aligns with you. So I always think that's really important. So before you access any services, it's always good to learn about who you're going to be working with and what kind of their approach is and their methods and if they align with you. So I do very much say that on the call, like, this is how I come through. If you feel like it aligns for you, for sure, get in touch. However, do feel free as well to shop around out there. This is what we should be doing, and seeing if anything else does align with you, what is going to work for you. Find out yourself as well. What kind of support are you looking for? And I think that really helps. It opens it up. It gives you a bit of a perspective on it before you do sign up and commit to anything. It's really good to learn all about our vibe and where I can explain more about what I do.
No, I think that's so important, because what we do in hairdressing, we offer free consultations.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be changing people's hair. You're working with their image. You're working with sometimes chemicals in terms of bleaching or color services, etc. Cutting hair off. Now sometimes you even add hair. Extensions. But you're changing someone's appearance. So free consulting is really important. Like you said, I love the way you said it. You get my vibe. I can understand you, particularly in what you're talking about. There's a lot of sensitivity, because people generally come to you with challenges or problems or issues, whether it's weight loss or physical stuff or nutrition or whatever, maybe it's. So I think it's really important to understand that and to have that almost free hit and just go, do you know what? I'm good. Or no, let's do it. This sounds good. Let's collaborate. Let's do some fun. So I think really important to leave on that note, Sat, is that you want to go and get your hair done. You want to go and have a chat about your nutrition or anything. It's all free.
That's it. And there's no obligation.
It's been
Yeah.
amazing. It's been
Oh,
good fun.
thank you. And I just want to say thank you so much, Gazza Wazza Doodah, for these cozy chats and just speaking on the great things and all that you're doing and the influence that you are and all that you bring. I'm just so grateful. Like, seriously, thanks so much, Gazza Wazza Doodah. And any final words before we kind of go?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if it's anything that's triggered anything in you or motivated you to go out and make a change, or just think, yeah, do it, just do it. You know, I mean, we're not perfect. Yeah, I'll be sat. You know, you and I said we've highlighted things that make us anxious, changes that we've implemented slowly, but we still enjoy food, drink, life. You know,
Yeah.
still enjoy the rest of it. You don't
Be
have to, but
realistic.
so
Yeah.
yeah, just be real, but you know, find a balance mentally, emotionally, you know, and be happy. But well, I'll come on again in a year and see how you're getting on.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And with changes anyone wants to make to themselves, guys, just always key trust in your beautiful selves, always, man. And
Absolutely.
I do. And guys, listen, just thank you. I hope you've gained something from this. Thanks for listening, guys. And until the next episode, take care, you beautiful beings.